Regular town board meeting. At this time, if you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Esley?
Present.
Councilman Marasco? Here. Councilman Perticone?
Here.
Councilwoman Scroback? Supervisor Derizio?
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I said I wish this podium was such that we could flip it better, but at this time, I would like to ask Pat Wayne to please come up and Erica Fee. Pat, would you like to start talking? Anytime. Honey, remember, we'd like this to be a short meeting tonight.
I'll keep that in mind. It is my pleasure tonight to present to Erica Lee a certificate acknowledging her historic home on Hellendale Road. The home is now on our historic preservation list, which means it cannot be destroyed, teared down in any manner. The house was originally the home of the Schneeberger family. It was built in 1880. And I would like to give a little pitch at this time. If your home is 50 years old or older and has kept its historic integrity, that is, the original home is as it always has been, please call me at the town hall. I would love to put it on our historic site list and preserve your home for eternity, hopefully.
You can change windows?
Well, if you're real good, yes.
Okay. But paint can be...
Paint we say you can paint it pink, I don't care. Or peacock color, I don't care. But it has to have the same historic shape when it was built. And you...
So we can do it together.
Oh.
Don't be so shy here.
Thank you.
It's nice you're wearing purple tonight, too.
Thanks.
I have only my purple ribbon on, but this is a certificate of historic registration. This certificate is awarded to Erica Fee in recognition that the home located at 763 Hellendale Road is an historic home and is now on the local historic site registry by the Irondequoit Preservation Commission this day on October 15th, 2013.
Thank you.
So now your house is going to become very popular on historic bus tours and people wanting to stop and have tea and
Fantastic.
scones and so forth. So
Great. Thank you very much.
it's exciting.
At this point, I'd like to introduce Jack Hurley, who is a member of our Preservation Commission and very loyal to this type of thing. Thanks, Jack. Oh, I'm sorry, Judy. I didn't see you come in. The other member is Judy Boleen.
And now at this time, I would like to ask my fellow town board members to come on down and join me in one of our most enjoyable tasks tonight. I wouldn't call it a task, but certainly an accomplishment for an individual who has very large shoes to fill in replacing a chief of police who gave so much of his life, his soul, to the Irondequoit Police Department. And so tonight, if I could ask Chief Tantillo's family to come up, please. I told Rich that the cousins of the cousins of the cousins of the cousins were coming, and he didn't believe me. believe me, this is a moment in history. So please come closer. Hail to the chief. And Aiden, you're going to hold the book. Both of you are going to hold the Bible. So if you'd like to come a little bit closer so that it's picked up for everyone watching at home. Okay. And Mom, a little bit closer too. Okay. I would like you to place your hand on the Bible and raise your right hand.
Twister.
I, Richard Tantallo,
I, Richard Tantillo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend
that I will defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of the State of New York.
and of the State of New York.
I will enforce all of the laws
I will enforce all of the laws
of the State of New York
of the State of New York
and the town of Irondequoit.
and the town of Irondequoit.
I will fulfill the duties
I will fulfill the duties
of the rank of Chief of Police
of the rank of Chief of Police
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will obey all orders,
I will obey all orders,
rules, and regulations
rules, and regulations
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
of the Irondequoit Police Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I will serve,
I will serve,
protect,
protect,
and guide the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
and guide the citizens of the town of Irondequoit.
Congratulations.
I'll be brief. I know people have to get to very important things, especially the patrol officers. They're not all working, just so everyone knows that. There's people out there working. I'm humbled and honored to have been selected as Chief of Police for the Irondequoit Police Department. As a young man, my initial goal was to be a police officer. For the community I grew up in, the community I went to school in, the community I raised my family in. Now I have the position that far exceeds that goal. However, I realize with this accomplishment comes a great deal of responsibility and accountability. I take that very seriously, and I will work hard to maintain the integrity and professionalism of the Irondequoit Police Department as my primary mission. With that as our cornerstone, the remaining pieces will fall into place. I could not have accomplished this goal without the support of my family, and in particular my wife Janine, who has had to handle a number of family events and responsibilities due to the demands of this career. And also during my career path and seeking higher education and reviewing all of those term papers that had to be written and speeches that had to be given, her mantra was, "Rich, it's not a criticism, just an observation." My children are here, Salvatore, Richard, Ryan, and Aiden, who have continued to understand the sacrifices that a law enforcement family has to make. And they understood it very well. Salvatore is a 911 police dispatcher and can legitimately tell his father where to go. Richard is a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy, which is really where I started my career some many years ago, and has served his community well. And ironically enough, if you can believe this, is now a crime prevention officer for that agency. As the Councilwoman Esley says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And in addition to all of that, they both serve as volunteer firefighters. Ryan and Aiden also understand the need to serve their community and have volunteered at a number of community events. My dear friends from Rotary are here, and I'm pleased and honored that they took the time to attend. They're an exceptional group of people. And these two boys have helped with the Irondequoit Rotary Community Cupboard Holiday Food Basket Program, as well as in building the barrier-free playground at Camp Eastman. I want to thank all of my colleagues who have been excellent working partners in the area of public safety. I've been blessed to serve under some exceptional leadership, starting with Chief Joseph Pichotti of the Fairport Police Department, who taught me so much. Chief William Fry and Chief Robert Longdew, who gave me many opportunities. And ultimately, Chief Richard Boyan, who, as you know, served this community faithfully for nearly 50 years and provided me with a great deal of mentorship as I assumed the duties of Deputy Chief and now Chief. And I'm honored that he took the time to be here tonight. They have provided me many opportunities and a great deal of insight as to what this job really is about. I want to thank all of my extended family that's here, but in particular my siblings, my brothers and sisters who've supported me throughout my career, early on as a college student, and subsequently as I moved through the ranks. I want to thank the Chiefs Association for being here, Chief Van Broderov from the Gates Police Department, the retired members of the Irondequoit Police Department, and Captain Martin Corbett, who I have the opportunity to work with for a number of years. I truly appreciate your presence. It's very meaningful to me. The members of the Irondequoit Police Department are dedicated to service, and they are a fine group of individuals. I'm proud to work side by side with them in a common goal of making the town of Irondequoit a great place to live and raise a family. I want to thank Supervisor DeRizio and the honorable town board members for their support and confidence in making this appointment. They have supported the police department in our mission in many ways, which includes the professional development of our staff and the resources that officers require in order to perform their duties. This support enhances our morale and our desire to serve with distinction. I pledge to work collectively with all aspects of the community as we strive to create and maintain a positive quality of life for all of our residents and those who visit us. Our strength lies in our ability to work as community partners with common goals of safe neighborhoods, safe roadways, and open communication so that we can make a difference. I encourage the citizens we serve to reach out to the Irondequoit Police Department, and myself in particular, with any concerns or issues that need to be addressed. Your police department is an accessible department that recognizes the value of community involvement and community support. Over the past few weeks, I've received a lot of encouragement and greetings in this new position. All of those words have been very meaningful to me, and I respect the responsibility that has been placed upon me. Trust me, I will never take that lightly. Thank you very much.
Chief. Make it official.
Absolutely. Now, will you bring in the cookie tray?
Absolutely.
It's so wonderful to see so many of the Chief's supporters here tonight, and it's also wonderful to see Chief Boyan as well. So it's great to see this Broderick room packed with so many wonderful people. And he will be an exemplary chief. Our town is in good hands. One of the exciting things that I was approached, I received a phone call from Albany in September and was told that the Legislative Gazette in Albany, which delivers political news throughout the state, was interested in highlighting the town of Irondequoit. And of course, I'm thinking, oh, does this violate procurement policy? How are we able to afford this? But as it turns out, it would be the vendors and the businesses who do work with Irondequoit that would support this particular project. And I'm really excited to say that today I had over 5,000 copies delivered to Town Hall that we are going to be disseminating throughout our town, as well as copies will be distributed among all the municipalities in New York State. To me, why this is important is that we really need to look at Irondequoit as a gem for promoting tourism. So I'm really proud in this insert that will be disseminated throughout the state that Pat Wayne has given a history of Irondequoit. We have a great deal of information about Parks and Rec. Of course, we're proud of our historic sites and the Better Contractors Bureau, the House of Guitars, the Gentleman's Retreat, as well as Seabreeze Amusement Park, Hot Dog Row, Whispering Pines, and of course, one of our greatest assets, St. Anne's. So I will have copies of these over there for you tonight. I'll have more that will be at various businesses. I'd like you to take time to see what businesses were willing to support this project, and I'm hoping next year as we celebrate the 175th anniversary of Irondequoit that we can really promote and do something that really is spectacular in terms of the history of this town and the assets that we have. So I thank you for that.
Unfortunately, due to open meeting laws, we can't shut that door.
For my supervisor's remarks, the Veterans, is this working? Mm-hmm. Okay. The Veterans Outreach Center is marking 40 years in our community. In its mission to support and connect military families and veterans to vital services, the center is launching a... Okay. Maybe nobody wanted to hear me.
It could be a while till they disperse, though.
Anyway, let's back up a little bit. The center is launching a Home Front Flags campaign. Residents can participate in the fundraising effort by texting veterans at 87804 before Veterans Day on November 11th. Show Rochester's veterans our true colors by supporting and displaying American-made flags. And you can buy those flags at Stars and Stripes. Public safety is one of the most important functions of government. Every car is readily dispatched to other areas in town as needed on a priority basis. We are proud of the Irondequoit Police Department for its commitment and professionalism in keeping all residents and visitors safe within our town. The officers are most responsive to concerns and continue to work with residents and businesses in the safety and security of all. October is also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You probably noticed the purple ribbons coming into Town Hall and purple lights are on the gazebo. We ask you to show your support and commitment to stopping the silence and cycle of abuse within our greater community by displaying purple. Many of us are wearing purple ribbons, and purple lights are shining in the gazebo on the Town Hall campus. Join the 31 Days of Purple Light by displaying purple throughout our town to spread the word and raise awareness against domestic violence. This is very important. Please follow the instructions on the letter that you received from Albany for filing the basic star on your school taxes. The state is requesting that Basic Star holders renew their exemption by December 31st, 2013. You must renew online or call the phone number. On this letter, you were given a personal code to use. You must follow the directions and use the code to secure your personal information, including Social Security numbers. I apologize that the town employees cannot perform this task for security reasons. Also, we have started to send out the letters for Star Enhanced and Senior Age Low Income Exemptions. These forms must be completed by March 1st, 2014. So like anyone who should get their homework done early, we ask that you try to file this by January 1st to ensure that you have done your filing completely. Good news about the road reconstruction. Top course asphalt paving from East Ridge Road to Titus Avenue on Portland Avenue is scheduled for Saturday, October 19th from 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock. Work areas will be alternating one-way traffic with flaggers at each end. Delays should be expected and using alternate routes is advised. Side street access may be delayed for 10 to 15 minutes in some cases as asphalt is placed across those areas. So please try to avoid Portland Avenue and those side streets as much as possible. Final top asphalt is scheduled during the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. on East Ridge Road during the next 2 weeks, so we should be seeing East Ridge Road complete. The residents and town government take code compliance seriously. These codes are important. They're placed on the book for implementation and execution. They are laws and codes that employees and residents must follow. Please do not ask town employees to exempt you for noncompliance. They cannot do that. So, on to our public comment.
Oh, it's warm, isn't it?
Whoa. Okay. Our first speaker is Cecilia Manuli. Cecilia, you want to bring the microphone down towards you, please?
Thank you. Good evening, Supervisor and Council members. I want to share my personal view for the new library and its importance to me and to the people and families of this community, and especially low-income families with children who cannot afford paying for outside entertainment and activities. I am blessed and also in a low-income bracket. I don't own a cell phone, iPod, Kindle, computer, subscribe to cable, or any other electronic device. Attending musicals, concerts, movies, education courses, and informational seminars are also out of my budget. So I take advantage of the many free offers available to me. The library offers me recent and old movies on DVD, television shows on DVD, especially those from CBS, as many of us along the Ontario coastline have not received airwaves since the FCC ruling. Did you know that? New Broadway musicals and plays are shown on DVDs, and the latest book list reviews are read to me from CDs. My eyes do not let me read for a long period of time. I attend many classes and other informational subjects given by the library. Computer use is also available, and I know many of my friends and neighbors access those computers to pay bills and visit their own subject of interest. A library is mortar and brick on the outside. Inside, it is a living and viable entity, giving the community and its families education, classes of interest, information, entertainment, and affordable activities. The right to vote yes or no for the library was given to the people in Arundecoit. What bothers me most is those seven residents with the deep pockets who can afford full and partial ads against the library and are trying to take the right away from those who want to see the project started. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity.
Stephanie Squiccerini.
Thank you. Stephanie Squiccerini, 3360 Culver Road. Last week, we learned that enough signatures were secured on the petition to force a second referendum vote on the library project. The date, due to legal requirements, will likely be sometime between December 7th and December 22nd. All details for the forced revote will be shared as soon as they are finalized. The Library Board understands that the events and delays of the last several months surrounding the library project have been confusing and frustrating. They have been for us as well. But we are committed to the voices heard in the vote on April 23rd and to moving forward rather than looking behind. It is not just about one person who may or may not be against the library and his vow to continue litigation in his effort to stop the library in its tracks. It is about the thousands of residents who said they want a more efficient centralized library with improved flexibility and expanded services. It is not just about the 7 people whose lawsuit delayed the project to a point where we lost a $500,000 New York State construction grant in this year's cycle. It is about moving forward from where we are now to make sure no further delays cost residents any more money. It is not just about whether or not the vote on April 23rd is technically voided. It is about the overwhelming support for the resolution to an issue that plagued our towns for decades. It is not just about the library board or the town board. It is about our entire town coming together to build a library that the overwhelming majority of residents in the single most comprehensive and extensive survey on the issue said they want. It is not just about a second vote that was forced by the same people from the anti-library campaign earlier this year. It is about the voices we heard in the first vote and building on that momentum and moving forward. The library and town boards will continue to work together to move past these delays. We will work together to ensure that information is clearly presented and easily accessed on the website www.libraryproposal.com. We will work together to plan additional public presentations, to answer any questions and address any concerns that people have as we face a second vote. Together, we will take all of this feedback from the first 21 public presentations, along with all the feedback received during these next steps in the process, and ensure that we have the best possible library for our town. We will build our library together. Thank you.
Danielle Marvella.
Hi, I'm Danielle, 36 Cranbrook Drive. I'm not an orator. I've never spoken at a public meeting. I've never come to a town hall meeting. I'm really nervous.
That's okay.
I have been library hopping with my children since they were born. It's been important to me to make the library a part of their lives, and like the woman before me said, it's free entertainment, and it's intelligent entertainment. When we were originally going around and checking out libraries, I was perplexed and disappointed at the size of the West Arundecoit Library. The library is small, it's inefficient, and it wasn't something that we came back to. I would occasionally stop to pick up a book or to drop a book off, but it wasn't big enough. There wasn't enough people there that were able to do the different things. Everyone was very busy. We recently became homeowners, and we purchased a house here in West Arundecoit. We looked very hard at a lot of different places, and this is the place that we want to raise our families, and this is the place that we want to be in the community. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight to speak for the library and show my support. I'm also here because I want to be a part of this community and not just a resident. That's all.
Richard Barone.
Richard Barone, 154 Allwood Drive. Contrary to Mrs. Squiccerini, I never stated there would be another lawsuit. I stated that that's up to the residents, not me. I cannot be on the lawsuit for various reasons. The public letter by President of the Board, Library Board, Squiccerini, is totally false and incorrect when she states that it would cost $697,000 more to improve the two branches. This is the pass-through report, Krista Construction, that was given to the library and the town board. And it specifically states on the bottom it would cost $2 million more for one library, $2 million less to fix up, expand, and improve the two libraries. I wish the false statements and innuendos and misquoting of me would stop by the library board people. Not all of them, I'm sure, are part of that. I also have here stipulation signed by the town attorneys last Friday, according to the attorneys for the 7 residents. This is being submitted to the court. And on the bottom, and apparently none of the town board members have seen it, because you're smiling there, Mrs. Esley. It says here that the vote of April 23rd is of no remaining legal effect. According to the attorneys, what will happen is this is submitted to the court either yesterday or today, and the court, of course, will have nothing to decide because the town board is complying with every requirement, demand of the lawsuit. Everyone. Because if it didn't, the town board would be in court. So the court will basically make a motion, perhaps, discontinuance, dismissal, whatever you want to call it, because the lawsuit has been complied with. Fine, that's what the residents wanted. In spite of the attempt of the Public Library Foundation to stop the petition process with a robocall telling people not to sign for the right to vote. That's a first. Don't get the right to vote. Amazing. 1,508 individuals signed the petitions, circulated by 25 people. We had more than that. Some couldn't do it because of medical conditions and job. What is interesting, over half the people never circulated petitions in their life. And some came because of the robocalls and because they were lied to by people in this community that their vote was still valid, that the library vote in April did not go away. And when I showed them the resolution by the town board, they were shocked, and they signed a petition, including some people that wanted to vote yes on the library. The very people that you want to vote yes complained.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Jarvis.
Good evening, everyone. This is in a different vein. Since the R7 subject was set aside, I haven't been able to be here. So I have one question for everybody, and I would just like an answer, either yes or no. Being that I haven't been around, how did the town board themselves, each individual, feel about that subject? Approve or disapprove of the submittal? John?
During public comment, you only address the dais, and I have the responsibility to respond if I so desire. Okay?
And?
Because it should not become a debate.
No.
Okay, but I will tell you that the issue is dead.
So there's no way that we can find out whether or not...
Well, let me put it this way. It was researched, ferreted, planned. Everything was done to, I think, to completion to say that it's not appropriate there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
I think the due diligence, through the planning and so forth. So,
Very good.
okay. If the other board members wish to speak, they can. I just wanted to tell you this should never become a debate.
No, I didn't want to.
Okay.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to be here at the other ones. Does anybody want to give an answer?
Just one thing, just for the clerk's purpose. Would you just mind stating your full name and your address, just for the clerk?
Yeah, Joe Jarvis, 82, or 87 Muirwood Lanes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So I guess the rest of my question, does anybody want to?
What I would say is that I think you can ask me anytime after this meeting and think the same for everybody else. This is kind of a political season for some of us, and I think this isn't the forum to do it. I'd be
Okay.
happy to tell you as soon as this meeting's over, I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, great.
Is that fair
I'll be
enough?
over. All right, thanks.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you, Joe. Tamara Denisenko.
Good evening.
Good evening, Tamara.
I haven't been here a couple of months either, so it's a pleasure to be here again. On behalf of 5 delegates from Poltava, Ukraine, who visited Irondequoit last month under the auspices of the Open World Leadership Center at the Library of Congress, I would like to thank our town supervisor and our controller for your kind hospitality and for sharing your knowledge and expertise with the group. They were pleased to visit Irondequoit, that has been a sister city of Poltava since 1992. One of the delegates, Alexander, was especially impressed with the concept of zero budgeting and to learn that only 5 elected officials serve over 50,000 residents, while he, as mayor of a small municipality near Poltava, has to find consensus with 30-member multi-party volunteer board representing only 6,000 residents. The delegates, upon seeing the future site of the library sign on the town hall property, were impressed and surprised that town residents had the right to vote on a major multi-million-dollar property tax-funded expenditure to construct a state-of-the-art library community center next to the town hall. They were in awe that residents also had the right to sue town government when they disagreed with the process, and that residents could further express their concerns through a petition process. It is something they're looking forward to do in their country. They were also surprised that such a compact town as Irondequoit was divided into east and west school districts. They were also interested in town redevelopment and zoning rules and procedures. I offered a sample draft copy of a policy concerning applications for rezoning that I believe was presented to the board last month. The policy proposed purpose is to the maximum extent possible, maintain harmony within neighborhoods, avoid controversy among stakeholders, and emphasize, maintain, and consider the character of a neighborhood. Many of us truly look forward to our town officials taking a hard look at this policy and potentially implementing for the good and welfare of our Irondequoit neighborhoods. In light of the R7, other R rezoning issues that may arise both in the east and the west. Thank you.
Tamara, it is a wonderful experience when anyone from Open World and World Governments do come. It was such a short time. I'm hoping the next time we have a little bit more time. So, thanks. And our last speaker is Mary Ellen Jones.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ellen Jones, and I live at 128 Thatcher Road. And as many of you know, I wear lots of hats in Irondequoit, and I guess I'm proud to say that all of them are positive ones. But the reason I'm here tonight is thanks are never too late, and I want to offer them tonight, even though it's belated, to give everyone an official report on how the Barbecue and Blues event went. Jack Harem and I were proud to be chairpersons of this event, but we could never have pulled it off without so many wonderful people who stepped up and volunteered. It certainly sent a clear message as to how much people do want a new library. I know I'll miss someone if I start saying names to thank you, but it included everyone from our elected officials to neighbors, friends, even the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts were there and helped us spend hours and hours making it success it was. We owe a thank you to all the people who came and supported it as well. We've already had people asking to be sponsors next year or to set up a booth at this event. I think the biggest testimonial to the success of the event is that our vendors, who already asked to come back next year with one big change, they'll have more help so the lines for the barbecue won't be so long. We were able to turn over a very nice check to the Library Foundation, who were the official sponsors of this event. We plan to make it an annual event and perhaps even expand the time for next year to give people a longer time to come and enjoy the music and good food, as well as supporting the library. Thank you again, and please save the date. And I will just close by saying we kept our promise to immediately start fundraising to help defray the cost of the new library. Now we're counting on you to continue your commitment as well as we overcome any and all obstacles to our goal of a beautiful new library for the town of Arundequoit.
And that concludes public input. And it's time for the financial report.
Included in this month's financial report is not only the highlights of the town's financial performance as of September 30th, but also the third quarter expenditures and revenue for the preceding 6 years. At the end of 3 quarters of 2013, total expenditures and encumbrances are $20,822,000, 66% of budget, below the 75% of the year that has elapsed. Actual expenditures are $19,674,000, and the remaining $1,148,000 represent encumbered expenses. The general fund expenses are $11,831,000, which is below budget at 65.2%. Of the $11.8 million total, $11.3 million represents the actual year-to-date spending. Altogether, the expenses in the highway funds are $4,520,000, or 81% of budget, higher than the percent of the year that has elapsed. Total highway is above budget, resulting from necessary encumbrances for gas, fuel, asphalt, debt service, equipment parts, and salt. The library fund expenditures are $1,252,000, or 67.2% of budget. Sewer has expended $2,165,294, 56% of its budget. Expenses in stormwater drainage are $260,000, 33% of budget. The general fund has received $14,546,000, 80.6% of the revenue budget. $10.3 million of tax revenue, $225,000 of payment in lieu of taxes. As of September 30th, 40% of the budgeted sales tax revenue is in. That revenue is $1,254,000 and is for the first 5 months of the year. The mortgage tax revenue, as shown on the report, represents 3 months of activity. 100% of state aid in the amount of $613,000 is in. The town has received 49% of franchise and cable revenue. That's approximately $394,000. Recreation fees are right on budget at 74.9%. Cemetery revenue is up. It is 87.5% of budget. Within the other sources of revenue category is $260,000 of property maintenance and cleanup revenue. The town has already exceeded the $170,000 of that revenue budget. Revenue for the entire town after 9 months is $27.1 million, 87.2% of budget, of which $16.3 million is real estate tax revenue. the library has received 97.4% of its revenue, approximately $1.8 million. $5.4 million is in for the highway, which accounts for 96.9% of that budget. $3.8 million has been received by the sewer fund, 99.8% of that revenue budget. Page 3 of the financial report shows the third quarter summary in comparison to the prior 6 years. In our primary funds, the percent of budgeted expenditures is mainly consistent with prior years. However, sewer and drainage have shown reductions in expenses. Highway 4 shows a fluctuation, and that came about because 2012 we had a larger salt budget than prior years. So as a result of the salt barn fire, a larger budget was transferred in, which caused the actual expenditures to be a lower percent of budget. That's why that fluctuation exists in 2012 for Highway 4. The revenue trends are consistent with prior years as well. In the general fund, bails and fines dipped last year, but this year the category is more in line with prior years. The other sources of revenue category, which houses property maintenance and cleanup charges, has shown a marked improvement over 2010 and 2011. The percent of budget currently is 73%. In 2010 and 2011, it was approximately 50%. So that's a healthy increase. Last year, the percent of revenue received was unusually high at 124%. Again, that resulted from the salt barn insurance reimbursement payment of approximately $350,000. So 2012 was an anomaly. Again, we're showing a marked improvement. Stormwater drainage and sewer funds showed unusually high revenue last year, and that was also due to insurance recovery payments for the salt barn fire. And this concludes my financial report for September 2013.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to tell you that we'll receive another sales tax check November, but we won't see that until the December board meeting. And December we'll receive the mortgage tax, and then franchise will be in March of 14. So because those calendars are different from ours, it throws our books off just a tad. Which at this time, because last week the town board reviewed the tentative budget, and right now we are tweaking a few things in that budget in preparation for the public hearing on November 7th. We continue to maintain the same tax rate of $6.51 per 1,000 of assessed value. So your town tax bill will be the same as it was in 2011, 2012, and 2013. The tax rate for the consolidated sewer district and the stormwater drainage district are also the same as 2013. So when you receive your tax bill in January, you'll see the different amounts for the county, and then the town tax, the sewer tax, the stormwater drainage tax, and then, of course, your fire district. In this budget, we are purchasing police cars, equipment for DPW and parks, replacing the outdated computers. I never look at them as outdated, but since Microsoft is not going to be supporting certain platforms that we have, we have to update those. And budgeting for contingencies. We're maintaining the same number of employees. The debt limit remains still a little under 10% of what it can be. No fund balances are being allocated except in the library. And it's critical for everyone to understand that to the town's financial health, a stable tax is important for businesses and residents, for credit rating, for bond rating when we do go to the market. Some of the things that we must always remember that are important with our various departments. You know, I talk about the police department all the time. Our public works continues to protect our streetscape by monitoring the 16,000 trees in the town right away and trim those when necessary. They do street repair, paving, sewer maintenance and construction, plowing. These are only a few of the demanding jobs that they perform. Over 210 miles of sidewalks, 500 miles of street lanes, brush pickup, and fleet maintenance require intensive monitoring and scheduling. Many projects that we had planned in our capital improvement plan, the CIP, we have been able, through very sound balancing of budgets and monitoring expenses against the revenues, we are going to be able to fund without further debt. The Community Development Department oversees building, planning, zoning, fire marshal, code enforcement, grant administration, and economic development. Total construction development exceeded $42 million in 2012 and is expected to reach nearly the same for 2013. The Rochester Business Journal rated Irondequoit in the top 5 municipalities for growth within Monroe and Ontario counties. Revenue from code compliance has increased from $46,700 in 2009 to $339,112 for 2013. That shows you how aggressive we are on code compliance. We take code compliance seriously for the aesthetic appeal in our neighborhoods. The Parks Department continues with its 150 acres of park, the 90-acre Camp Eastman, and all of the offerings at Pine Grove. Tot lots, ball fields, playgrounds, and special events make Irondequoit unique. Sometimes we forget about the court that serves justice to those who must appear for whatever reason, and we hold a distinction for being one of the finest in New York State. The library branches provide lifelong learning from the introduction of reading to computer literacy. The library is a journey for those who can read the books about places they may never visit or utilize the internet to plan a trip. Humans tend to be social creatures and by their very nature love the exchange of knowledge, socialization, and expanding horizons through library services. The IT department, very important tonight for broadcasting, and we thank you, Nate and Sean, provide the technology and talent for all the computers, the software, iCat, website, Facebook, phone service, and every other aspect of communication. The town clerk's office is your one-stop shopping for handicap tags, fishing, hunting, dog and marriage licenses. The staff is eager to photograph you for your passport application, assist in selecting a serene spot in the Irondequoit Cemetery, and notarizing documents. The assessor, and we welcome her tonight, is a go-to person for a fair and equitable determination of your house worth. At the time of your selling it, if you wish to receive the best return on your investment, it is in this department that you direct your questions about exemptions. The comptroller's office is the straight and narrow for which all of us monitor every expense and revenue for the best bang for the taxpayers' money. The town audit proves what a fine job we have done the last 3 years, and I commend all of us. An expenditure, though not a department, is the attorney. Many law firms represent the town on planning, zoning, claims, lawsuits, labor and collective bargaining agreement, leases for equipment, cell tower leases and copier leases, sewer district issues, and intermunicipal agreements pass through legal review. Due to the increased economic activity in town, legal fees have been incurred. Requests for quotes and requests for proposals, as well as procurement policy, face legal scrutiny. Charges cover attendance at workshops, special board meetings, regular town board meetings, office work, research, etc. These are only a few items that the various attorneys for the town counsel on town matters. All of these departments work together to try to bring to you the most efficient and the best that your taxpayer money can provide. And we're always proud to do that for you, our residents.
And just to sum it up, Madam, that I would say, given everything that has been going on, the budget has also remained flat with all of those expenses incurred. And thank you, Annie, and the department heads. It looks like we're well on our way to another stellar end to the year. There's a lot of rhetoric that gets flown around this town, but the bottom line is still the bottom line, and that's a fabulous budget.
And that's what we do, is we restructure debt, because my belief, debt should only be used for the long life assets that are important to the town. What are shorter term, we can handle through operating and smart budgeting. So, Barb.
Okay, approval of minutes. September 11, 2013, the workshop meeting.
Motion, please?
Moved.
And a second. Thank you. Did anyone have any additions, corrections?
I need to abstain, Madam. I was out of town for this meeting.
And again, to Mrs. Janier, our exemplary town clerk, wow, what a job you do with these.
Thank you.
Hearing no additions or corrections, let approve as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And we have one abstention and one absent.
This September 17th, 2013, the regular town board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Did anyone see any additions, corrections?
They were addressed, thank you.
Okay. Again, a lot of work goes into
Yeah.
these. Okay, hearing none, let's approve as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Carries 4 yes and 1 absent.
And the September 27th, 2013, the special town board meeting.
Moved.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Did anyone see any additions, corrections?
Great.
Hearing none, let us accept as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4 yes and 1 absent.
The items for board action. Item 10A, 2013-1, authorizing the transfer of undesignated fund balance from the sewer fund to finance the 2014 replacement of sewer laterals and mains project as referenced in the Capital Improvement Program 2014 to 2019.
And I will move this. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Whereas it is necessary to provide funding for the replacement of sewer, laterals, and mains capital project that will commence in 2014, as referenced in the Capital Improvement Program 2014 through 2019 document. Whereas funding for this project is estimated at $500,000 and is not currently available in the capital budget. Whereas the required funding for the project is available in the undesignated balance of the sewer fund. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves funding the 2014 replacement of sewer, laterals, and mains capital project as referenced in the Capital Improvement Program 2014 through 2019 by transferring an amount of $500,000 from the undesignated balance of the sewer fund. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything to ask or?
Just great that we didn't have to borrow to do it. I think this is
Exactly.
just exactly what
And,
you were
I
talking
have to
about.
commend DPW and the sewer department because they are so aggressive in pursuing, they're constantly videoing the sewers, they're monitoring where tree roots could be infiltrating, and so they're always trying to keep abreast. They're proactive. We're proud that if residents call, they will go out on site, assist, advise them if they need to seek other types of help for their problem. But I think it's our being very aggressive, and I commend Patrick Meredith and DPW for their work at such that we're able to do this without further debt.
If anybody had ever told me 5 years ago that I would get really excited about sewers, I would have told them they were crazy. Now I think they're one of the most exciting things to talk about, new sewers.
Having lived on septic tanks, I can appreciate that. So let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-2, authorizing the hiring of a police officer.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Good evening. I will read this resolution. Whereas the Arundecoit Police Department has a vacancy for a police officer, and whereas this candidate has completed academy training and will be required to complete the field training program, officer program for the town of Arundecoit, and whereas the Chief of Police, after considerable review, is recommending that Joseph Shevlin be hired to fill this position, and now therefore be it resolved that authorization is given to hire Joseph Shevlin at the salary of $42,062 from budget code 001-3120-0100-1100. This resolution shall take effect upon date of hire. Mr. Shevlin is a town resident. He has just recently come out of academy several weeks ago, and I will let the chief talk about when he may start working with us and what the process will be.
Sergeant Bean conducted the background investigation as he does with all of our candidates. He's done an exceptional job. This individual comes to us, if you will, post-academy, so that is beneficial to us. He was very successful in his academy setting and his studies associated with that. He's currently employed as a public safety officer for Monroe Community College and is performing very well there. So as upon his appointment here, he would come to us post-academy, and we would have to have him participate and complete his field training officer program with our veteran officers in regards to that. And he'd be ready for us in approximately 14 weeks to assume his duties and responsibilities. Everything appears to be very good in his background, as it was reviewed by the investigating personnel as well as the town attorney. So we look forward to his employment with an anticipated start date of October 24th.
Excellent. And this gets you up to how many, Chief? How many officers?
48.
Does that include the 2 in the academy?
It does.
Okay.
We have some out on,
Yeah.
we're
We'll keep working at it.
51,
And we appreciate that.
2 officers out. Yeah.
Any further questions to ask of Chief or HR?
We discussed it at the workshop. That was very thorough. Just
Okay.
one, a real accommodation to the Arundecoit Police Department, because their background check on these potential hires is just exhaustive. You cross every T and dot every I to be sure that you're bringing the absolute best candidates into the town, and we appreciate that.
And we appreciate your going through all of them.
Yeah, part of the process, yeah.
Okay. Hearing no further discussion, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-3, authorizing the naming of Camp Eastman Way.
I'll move it.
Second.
Thank you.
Whereas Camp Eastman, a town of Arundecoit Park operated by the Department of Parks and Recreation, located off of Lakeshore Boulevard, is home to many recreational activities and events. And whereas the road in the park does not have an official name or address, and whereas for accuracy and efficiency in response times due to emergency situations, the Department of Parks and Recreation desires to have an official name for the road in the park. And whereas the Director of Parks and Recreation has filed the necessary applications with the City of Rochester per the Right-of-Way Naming Act, and whereas the proposed street name has been provided by the City of Rochester 911 Center, and whereas the assessor will notify all affected authorities of this change, and now therefore be it resolved that the road at Camp Eastman be named Camp Eastman Way. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption.
Okay. And it is true that the lodges will also be numbered, so if there's 911 calls, first aid calls, they know which building to go to.
Correct. That's the next step in the process. The assessor and I were chatting about it tonight, and she is going to assist me with putting a number on every building down there so that the emergency response teams know exactly where to go when they get there.
Okay, that's great. Any other discussion? Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-4, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a vendor service agreement with the Animal Hospital of Pittsford.
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you.
The resolution is as follows. Whereas the town of Arundequoit contracts with the Animal Hospital of Pittsford, 2816 Monroe Avenue, Rochester, New York, for animal shelter and professional veterinary services. And whereas it is requested that the supervisor be authorized to sign a vendor service agreement between the town of Arundequoit and Animal Hospital of Pittsford for services ending September 30th, 2014. Now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute said vendor service agreement with the Animal Hospital of Pittsford.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Just routine. We do it every year.
Yep, it is a routine one every year, and the attorney reviews it to make sure things are copacetic. So, hearing no further discussion, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-5, authorizing an amendment to the 2013 budget of the Police Department to appropriate funding for the Arundequoit Police Department patrol vehicle repairs and equipment in the amount of $5,200.
Moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Whereas the town has received 2013 insurance recoveries as a result of patrol vehicle damage associated with motor vehicle accidents. And whereas funds are needed to repair and equip existing Arundequoit Police Department fleet vehicles. Whereas it is necessary to amend the 2013 Arundequoit Police Department budget and request an appropriation of the funds necessary to repair and properly equip police vehicles. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the 2013 budget of the Arundequoit Police Department is amended by appropriating revenue in the amount of $5,200 to budget line 001 0001 2680 3120, and by appropriating the corresponding expenses of $5,200 to account 001 3120 4635. Be it further resolved that the town board grants authority for this 2013 Arundequoit Police Department budget amendment to occur. And just for background information, what this will allow us to do is equip one patrol vehicle so that we can use it for, if you will, special operations, and I would just like to keep it at that if I could. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, we have an existing unit in our fleet that needs a new transmission, and this transfer of funds or appropriation of funds would allow that to occur. Unfortunately, one of the things that did take place with a motor vehicle accident with one of our newer fleet vehicles, it was not the fault of the officer, and unfortunately, when the insurance recoveries were appropriated or granted from the insurance company, it was far less than what it would cost to replace a new vehicle.
And of course, it had to be one of the new vehicles.
It always happens.
It always
that
seems
way.
to be that way.
Every time. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-6, approving the Eastridge High School Student Government and Lancers Lend a Hand 5K I Run.
I'll approve it.
And I'll
Motion.
second. This is
Thank you.
exciting.
Whereas the Town Clerk's Office received an application from Eastridge High School Student Government and Lancers Lend a Hand Clubs to conduct their 5K I Run, and whereas proof of current insurance, which expires on August 1st, 2014, has been reviewed and approved by the town's insurance carrier, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves the license for Eastridge High School Student Government and Lancers Lend a Hand Clubs to conduct their 5K I Run on Saturday, October 19th, 2013, beginning at 8 a.m. at the Eastridge High School Stadium, with all proceeds going to the Arundequoit Food Cupboard. This resolution shall take effect immediately. They are planning on holding this every year and having the proceeds go to different organizations throughout the town.
Excellent.
Excellent plan. Any comments?
Good for them.
Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-7, approving the 16th Annual Johnny's Run Like Hell 5K race.
Second.
Whereas the Town Clerk's Office received an application from Johnny's to conduct their 16th Annual Run Like Hell 5K race, and whereas insurance has been reviewed and approved by the town insurance carrier, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves the license to conduct Johnny's 16th Annual Run Like Hell 5K race on Saturday, October 19th, 2013, beginning at 3 p.m., and this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption, and this is something that has been done for many years. It's very popular, very successful, and all approvals are in.
Excellent.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent.
Item 10A, 2013-8, adopting Freedom from Workplace Bullies Week.
And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Whereas the town of Arundequoit wishes to promote the social and economic well-being of its residents, employees, and employers. Whereas that well-being depends upon the existence of healthy and productive employees working in safe and abuse-free work environments. And research has documented the stress-related health consequences for individuals caused by exposure to abusive work environments. Whereas abusive work environments are costly for employers, with consequences including reduced productivity, absenteeism, and injuries. And whereas protection from abusive work environments should apply to every worker and not be limited to legally protected class status only on race, color, gender, national origin, age, or disability. Now, therefore, the town of Arundequoit resolves that October 20th through 26, 2013 is Freedom from Workplace Bullies Week, and, further resolves that as a part of its recognition of the week, the town will engage in efforts it deems appropriate to promote education on the issue and to promote workplace protection against bullying and abuse, whether initiated by co-workers, employers, customers, or visitors. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. What has precipitated this, as more and more issues in our society are being studied, serious ramifications of individuals who have been bullied in the workplace, at school, at college, and that we as a society need to understand that we alone are responsible for our words and our deeds, and that by bullying others into trying to think in the same way is not acceptable. There have been very tragic incidences based upon bullying, and this resolution was brought to me by a national organization and a statewide organization, and once it's approved, a stamped copy will be sent by the town clerk, and I have that address and everything for you, Mrs. Chenier. Okay? So, any discussion?
Thank you for bringing it.
And hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent. And that, brings us to the end of our agenda, but something did come up today, and we need to have an executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular person. So I would ask for a...
Mary Joyce?
Yes.
Before we get into executive session, because I know probably a lot of folks are going to leave, I'd like to make a couple of comments.
Oh, yes, that's fine, because I think other than Mrs. Watrow and Mr. O'Brien and Mrs. Chenier, obviously, the rest would be dismissed. It'll be just a short executive session. Yes.
Yes. First of all, what Mr. Dick Barone was talking about President Squicciarini, what she had wrote in the paper was the first letter that was written to the Democrat and Chronicle was not correct, and the figures that were in there. So she sent a letter back and put it in the newspaper with the correct figures. So that's what started that. And to come up to this podium and say that she's incorrect, he needs an apology, I think is not correct in even asking for something like that. The only thing this library board needs an apology for is probably working hard. And is when we talk about the petitioning, there's a lot of stories out there. I have some emails right here. You could talk. He's got stories. But a lot of people out there that, because I saw the list and I had talked to some people that I know personally. Okay? A lot of them thought, although it is the responsibility of people to know what they're signing, a lot of them thought that they were duped into signing this thing because they were told they were signing for a new library. Okay? None of them were ever told that the board voted on not to have another vote. None of them were told the whole process, and downright, basically what they really weren't told was you're allowing Dick Barone to come out here for the next 60 days and just attack this library and try not to get this thing built. If they were told the true stories, I think you wouldn't have had 1,508 signatures, because I got names right here we could take off of the list. So he can go around and tell people he got all those names, but the real truth should have been that he was against the library, and I said this last month, and he's going to fight for the next 60 days trying not to get this project built. And I believe if people knew that, they would have never signed that petition. But it is their responsibility to know. I had phone calls after people signed the petition, and I told them what the real story was, not the misleading story to these people. But it is what it is. We're going to have another vote, and mark my words, this library isn't going to put up with a tax for the next 60 months. They're a very strong group of people, and whatever comes out after them, they're going to go right after it back, and we're going to build this library. And the problem is, too, this project is behind another 60 days now, probably more. You can add costs to the project. As farther we keep going, we're going to, 4 to 5% across the board. Just do the math on a $13 million project, what it's going to cost to start building this project. The cost of the project a year ago was a lot different than it's going to be costing a year later. So people out there, do your homework. The library board will get more information out again. We'll build this library. It's very unfortunate that a lot of people that signed that petition really didn't know the real story behind it. That's all I have to say.
And several have called Town Hall to ask to have their names removed. And just an also reminder that absolutely nothing has changed between the first vote and the second vote. The declaration was still negative, no impact before with the first vote and now with the second vote. The only thing it's going to be is a big waste of money.
Okay, With that being said, if I could have a motion to go into executive session?
Moved.
And a second, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. regular session from executive session.
Yes, ma'am, so moved.
And second, all in favor, signify aye. Good. Now, unless we have anything else, can I have a motion for adjournment? And a second.
Move.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries 4 yes, 1 absent. Thank you, Nate.